everyone, welcome back to the Local Loop, and today I'm so happy to bring to you Mark Aakjar from Mark's Inspections, and he's going to talk to us today about home inspections.
So home inspections are, an educational process to teach the buyer about what they're going to buy. Mm-hmm. It's a very important process that everybody will typically do before they go to buy a home.
After you fall in love, you got to make sure that it's safe, it's sound, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very much so an educational process to walk through and get to know everything about the home, and it should be a fun time. Although it can be a little bit scary and overwhelming. It should be a fun and educational time.
Right. So often I'll get these buyers from New York City, and they're like, "Oh, all we do when something goes wrong is call up the super,"
Right.
So I always encourage them to walk around with the inspector and kind of get a crash course on life in a home, right? Yeah.
And I agree. And I tell everybody, show up, drink lots of caffeine, bring a notepad, be prepared to learn, because we're going to go over that whole place top to bottom. And I tell people, ask lots of questions. That's that day is all about you. You're paying for the service. It should really
There's
be
no
about
stupid questions.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. And it can be a little overwhelming. We really take the time to really ask whatever questions you want, and feel free to go around and touch and feel things, open things up. This is going to be your home.
Right. I know. Well, Mark once used the analogy of the baby, bringing home a new baby from the hospital and not knowing what to do. It's like they have to give you, a lesson on diapering and burping and everything else. And
although you and I are always there after the closing if they need us. Right. But when you go to purchase the home the day after closing, you're with this home now, and you bring it home. You go and you move into it, and it's like you said, it's like having a newborn baby when you bring it home.
Yeah. So unlike a baby, have you ever gotten the question where someone's like, "Oh my God, is this a lemon? Should I not buy it?" Like, would you not buy this?
Yeah, you get certain buyers that probably shouldn't get involved in a large project. But it's not really my job to really tell them what they should or shouldn't buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, the primary care guy, just tell them what the problems are. I just want to make sure they're educated on everything that they know. And usually between you and I, we coach them and tell them, if this is too much for them. Mm-hmm. Of course, anything can be fixed, just a matter of how much.
Exactly.
So, and that's really the key to know in any home, whether or not that's in your budget or that's, part of your plan for logistics, because, construction can be very stressful too, so sometimes people want a fully renovated home,
Right. So what would you say would be like one of the worst things that could come up in a home inspection?
Usually health and safety type things,
okay.
things that are, safety related or health related, major structural deficiencies, although they're very rare, people tend to ask a lot more than they ever occur, if I see a handful of them per year, that's a lot, usually very rarely, we do lots of homes. So, those are usually the biggest things, health and safety things will prevent you from immediately being able to move into the home, or potentially endanger, you while you're living in the home,
Well, I've gone through some inspections that have been kind of hairy, and it's amazing what you can get over or fix that sounds so, oh my God, in the beginning, like non-potable water.
Yeah.
We had that once, or underground oil tank with oil seepage. But it can all be cleaned up. Everything can be fixed. It's like you said, just a matter of money and what you're willing to stomach. So.
Right, exactly. And for a new-time home buyer, it's a lot to take on with. You don't know. You'll see termites and like, oh my God, no, that's the best termite.
Yeah.
But it's $1,500 treatment, and sometimes a couple $100 to get a guy there to sister up some joists. So.
Yeah, or radon. Radon makes people go crazy.
It's funny because most of New Jersey is has high radon. It's very the highest in the country.
Well, here we also have very high radon, and it's a very inexpensive fix. And
it's very common. Yeah, it's very common, and we breathe in all the time. You're constantly exposed to radiation on a daily basis. Just a matter of how much. And like I said, mitigation usually costs around $1,500, and it's done in a day. And we had some buyers get very, they don't want to buy a house just because it's high radon, and it's very easily mitigated.
Yeah. So unfortunately, in the business, sometimes we find a home for a buyer, and then they fall in love, and then they decide they don't love it anymore after they've done the inspection, regardless of the inspection. Like, who owns that inspection report?
It's the property of the buyer. They own it. Typically they'll share with you to be able to work with negotiation and or the attorney. But it's theirs. It's
right, and it's theirs to decide whether they want to share it or not.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
And it's it's something that they should always use and reference to when it comes down to updating maintenance things and things like that. And that's why we say they should definitely walk through during the inspection to really find out everything about the home and get educated on it.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Mark, for joining us and for talking to us about inspections. I think you really helped clarify a lot of important points. And thank you for joining us at the Local Loop, and we look forward to seeing you next time.